Hi co-teachers, I want to do a quick video to show you a little bit about how we do long division in the classroom. I have my whiteboard here with, I'm going to use as my scratch board, and I have the 4 steps to long division problems. The first one is divide, the second is multiply, the third is subtract, and the fourth is bring down. And then you're going to start over again until you get through all of the numbers. Okay, so I've got a couple of problems we can work out together here. The first one is 8 divided into 376, or 376 divided by 8. So first we're going to think, how many times does 8 go into 37? We know it doesn't go into 3, so it must be 8 times something is close to 37. We're going to try 4. Now we're going to multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. Now we'll subtract that out and bring down the next number. Now we have a whole new division problem to work. 56 divided by 8. 8 times what is close to 56? Let's try 7. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract it out, we get 0, and so here is our answer. Okay, let's try it in a little bit harder problem. Here we have 30 divided into 832. Now, instead of thinking about 30 into 800, let's think about 3 into 8. How many times does 3 go into 8? Let's try it 2 times. Oh, but we're not going to put it there, are we? Because we're not actually going into 8. We're going into 83. 30 is going into 83. So let's put the 2 over the 83. Now we have 30 times 3, which would be 90. Oh, I'm sorry, 60. 30 times 3 is 60. So we're going to subtract that out. And then we're going to bring down the next number. So now again, we have another division problem. 232 divided by 30. Now, we're going to think about it as 3 into 23. How many times will 3 go into 23? Well, 3 times 7 is 21. Let's try that. 7 times 30. Subtract it out. So we have a 27 with a remainder of 22. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is a little bit harder still. This is what we just learned this last week. We have 42 divided into 246. Now, the trick that they're telling you kind of goes back to the dividing by a 10. What they're suggesting that you do is take this 42 and round it down and think about it in that regards. So you're going to round it down to 40, and so you're thinking about how many times does 40 go into 246? And then if you look at this, we can go back a little bit further and say, okay, well, how many times does 4 go into 24? Well, we know 4 will go into 24 6 times. So let's try 6 with this number here. Now, this number is going to go into, it won't go into 24, so we're going into 246. So let's try it 6 times. Now, this is where our scratch paper comes in handy, because we can put in here 42 times 6, multiply that out. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25, so that gives us 252. Uh-oh, I think we have a problem. This number is bigger than this number, which means that this number is too big. So let's try it again. I tell my kids all the time, it's okay to erase. Let's try a 5 instead. Let's go back to our whiteboard or our scratch paper and try 42 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1, 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 1, 210. Subtract that out. And so we have this number is now smaller than this one, so we're good. So we have 5 with a remainder of 36. Again, every time I go through a step, I say, and now what are we going to do next? Multiply? Great, let's do it. What are we going to do next? Subtract? Great, let's subtract. Now let's bring that number down. Let's try one more here real quick. We have 53 into 875. Again, we're going to think about it as 50. We're going to round that number down to 50. This is just to kind of give us a guesstimate, an idea as to how many times the 53 goes into this large number. So if we're going to guess, how many times does 50 go into 875? Well, let's make it go down a little bit further and think, how many times does 5 go into 8? One time, right? That makes it super easy. So let's erase this here. 53 is going to go into 87 one time. 1 times, our next step is multiply. 1 times 53 is 53. So we're going to subtract because that's our third step. Is this number smaller than this one? Yes, it is. We can move on. Bring down that 5. Now we have, again, another division problem. 53 divided into 345. So let's think again. How many times can 50 go into 345? Well, 5 will go into 36 times. So maybe we should try that one. So we'll go to our scratch paper over here, and we'll do 53 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 1, so we've got 318. So if we multiply by 6, 53 times 6 is 318. Subtract that out. Make sure that we borrow correctly here. So that would be 16 with a remainder of 27. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that or not. I hope this has helped you, and it's kind of how we've been doing it with the rounding down, just to kind of give us an idea as to how many times that big number can go into it, and then we replace that number, or we divide with the number that we think that it would work into. So I hope that wasn't confusing. That's kind of how the book teaches it. If you have any other ideas or something that works really good for your kid, please let me know. I would love to give out some other answers too. Thanks, and have a great day.